All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I know it's tax season, everybody's busy, but we did want to give you guys just kind of an overview of what's coming in My Task LMS. We've got a couple changes happening for this year. Some of it will happen immediately. Some of it will be ready as early as Friday. Some of it, there's a few of the changes that might not take effect until 2 or 3 weeks from now, but we wanted to give you guys a preview of what's coming. A lot of it is going to be centered around reporting today, something everybody has asked for. Please note that there are a lot of things that we would love to do with the reporting, but we don't own the back end of the platform, and so we are limited by what they will allow us to change. So one of the changes that we have come up with, which Chris will discuss at the end of the meeting, it will allow you all much more diversity, or much more a much more powerful selection of reports to view what your learners are doing. However, it will come with some limitations. It will change the way that we have to add users, and this was a give and take. We had so many requests from people to provide additional reporting that the only way that we could get the software to do what we wanted was we had to take some of the permissions away. So with that said, I'm gonna let Chris jump in, and right now Chris is going to talk about Xero. Once he is done, I will talk about WISP reporting, and we will finish it out with the new reporting for all of your learners.
Hey everyone. So I'm going to share screen for this side of Xero so you can kind of see what is going on in that side of things. So from the Xero side, we have built the program to be similar to how QuickBooks Online, how Accounting CS training would go, but going from the perspective of Xero. So we've gone in and created the same Accounting 101, Accounting 201, 301, and 401 of Xero. And using the same set of sample data, we have created the process within Xero. It is going to be similar build out to how QuickBooks Online is, where you may not want the new trainee to create the client in Xero, and that's okay. You guys can be able to create it for them. They can then start from that process going forward, but we do show in here for them how to go through creating a client in Xero if you wanted to go with that route. And just like the other sections, it's a build out at the very beginning, going through the January monthly process. So with all the ones that you've been dealing with before, it's going to have that same exact build out. This is something that, like Vince said, we are wrapping up by the end of this week to where this will be live. So if you guys do have Xero clients, or you're wanting to go through that Xero training, whether it's for you as a trainer or to have a new trainee go through the course, please notify me. You can use my email of chris@mytasklms.com, and we can work on getting that added into your LMS. For the next part, I'm going to let Vince go on dealing with the WISP reporting.
While Chris is changing the screen to open up the WISP, just a quick note, Chris and I are going to spend quite a bit of time after tax season. We are trying to get the LMS CPE qualified. To do that, they are requiring us to change a good portion of the test questions. So what you will see is probably April-May timeframe. Each section in the accounting module will now have a very similar month after month. They will have a very similar 10 to 12 question bank that the learners will have to answer. This, I think, will also make it a little easier on the trainers moving forward, that it will be a similar question every single month. And again, the true, false, the yes, no questions will disappear because we can't use those for CPE qualification. All right, so written information security plan, something unfortunately very near and dear to our heart now. So we, after talking with Rob Farini and several of the insurance providers, there was an estimate thrown out that while 100% of the firms are required to have a WISP, it was something like less than 20% actually do. And then it was less than 2% were actually doing the annual information reporting or the testing of the WISP that is required. So to help with that, because again, I wanted to create this for my own company, we have provided a sample written information security plan. This is downloadable and you can customize it to your firm. We have taken the one that's pretty much right out of the IRS guidelines for what should be in a WISP and thrown that into the LMS with a few tweaks and changes. So again, you should be able to download that PDF and add the things that would be specific to your firm, such as who is the information officer inside the firm, or who is the data security risk personnel, who they report to. And then you can sign, put this in your file, and now you have your written WISP and you're in compliance. That is step one. Step two of compliance for the WISP is annual certification of all of your employees. So in this case, there is a 10-question WISP assessment that when the employee completes the WISP, so it does not ask specific questions to your firm, meaning it does not ask who is the data security coordinator. It does ask who's responsible for implementing and maintaining the WISP. So once they read through the sample, these questions are based off of the what I'll call the 30,000-foot overview of the WISP, but it's enough to qualify us for the annual certification of each of our employees. So when they do take the WISP and they pass it, they will get a certificate that then you can place in their employee file. Then every January 1, it will reset for any of the employees that are in the LMS. So again, I have added all 50 of my employees into the LMS. Even if they don't use the other training modules, I no longer have to track their WISP information for HR. January 1, they will get an email. It will tell them you need to take this exam again. They will take the exam. They will get another certificate that is specific to that year. And then that can be forwarded to our HR and put in their employee file. So again, we're just trying to take some of this administrative burden off of the firms. This is something that none of us really want to track and want to do. So we have tried to automate as much of this as possible through the LMS. Chris, back to reporting.
Okay. So this one's going to take a bit more time to go through because we have parts and pieces of it all to go through. So I am going to switch to a branch so that you can see what it will look like from your side. Probably from you going into the administrator before, you would see these report section in here, but if you clicked on it, all you're really seeing is like pre-employment tests. Well, the background drop that we're changing here is we're giving the firms the access directly to all the courses to where they can be able to see all the reporting through this section. What it does require, and this goes to what Vince was talking about with some changes in procedures of adding users, the pre-employment tests, and for some of you that are PASBA members, the PASBA courses, those would have to get switched to added to our side from now on. The reason for this is by us giving you guys courses, then you could go in and individually add courses, which would cause an issue with, if it's a QuickBooks Online course, you could add potentially one, but not all of the sections of the course. And then that user wouldn't get complete through there. What it does allow you now, if we go into that user section and we go to a user, you'll see that everything is blocked out for you to edit, but you can see all of the courses that the person is assigned to. So that way, if you see that they are missing a course, you can be able to relay that to us to get that added. Like if they needed tax added to their side, we can get that added then at that point. To go into the actual reporting of it all, there's a couple different sections that I wanted to highlight. The training matrix, the courses, and the users under these report section are kind of going to be your main focus in here. The training matrix allows you to see the overall progress through all of the different courses. And it shows you courses that they are part way through. It shows what they've completed, and it shows what's available to them. The other side to it, if I take out this test, there's these two next tabs. This focuses on courses, so you can see all the courses across. And this focuses on the users. So that way you can go through users, or you can type a specific user to see their progress. If you click into the course, it will show you that they completed it, what their score was, how much their overall time was, when they completed it. And if they have a percent, it'll tell you that percent. The other area too is that you can be able to export this to Excel. If we export it to Excel, now you can see it from a larger view. So you don't have to do the little tab across to see the next users or the next courses. One note, it doesn't automatically freeze this top row, so you would have to do that if you're wanting to see their progress in there. The next thing that I want to highlight is the courses. So the courses themselves, if you remember from your current stuff right now, you go into the course from the instructor mode, and then you go into the different items of like the user's progress, the tests. Well, from here, you can dive into those specific courses and see all of that same data. So you can go into the users, see that same percent progress. You can go into the tests, see the results. You have the unit matrix that lets you see a deep dive into that individual course. So for QuickBooks Online, for instance, that test file was partway through, and it shows me the exact section that it was left off on. And the last thing that it will show you is a timeline. So it will show you as people are going through the course, important areas, like if they downloaded documents, if they completed a test, if they completed a course. So you could use that timeline there. From the individual user side, let's say you have one person currently going through the course and you want to see all of their stats through the course. If you go to users, you can go to that user and you can either click on it or click on the little report icon, and it will give you an overall view of the user, showing you their courses in progress, their completed courses, giving you a general overview. If you go to the courses tab, it'll show you everything they completed and everything that they are percentage of the way through. and when they completed it with the amount of time. Just like your users section, you can click on the progress bar and see where they were last left off so that you know exactly where they are. From the test side, you can go in to every single one of their tests in this section and see the same test results as if you were going into that individual course. The last couple, they're not too much to worry about. The certificates, kind of what Vince was talking about with the WISP, you could be able to see that in here. And the timeline, once again, this would be user specific, showing when they've completed a test, completed a course, can see all that progress in there. So those are the main areas that we're looking at from the reporting side of getting you that next step of being able to see some of that information. I know one of the big issues before was tracking the progress of the user specific and also tracking the overall progress of every user. And that's where we're kind of seeing the training matrix and then the actual individual user report to be able to get you that sort of information. And like I said earlier, the only real downfall to it is that the pre-employment test that you guys manually assign from your side would just now come to our side, which we will be updating the user, the new user sheet with that information. And this is something that Vince, like Vince was saying earlier, we're probably looking at towards the end of the month, and it's probably also going to be a firm by firm basis, because I'm going to get with each of you to kind of go through that process, because I want to make sure that you all have the specific courses that you're looking for.
And again, as Chris addressed, one of the drawbacks, we're trying to give you guys better reporting, and unfortunately, it was a give and take with the back end of the software. So to be able to provide that course level view for you, it does restrict you because of giving you the course, because of assigning the course to the branch level, it does require us to restrict adding users and assigning courses, for fear that you add a user, you wouldn't be able to assign the course or assign the group. And then if you do assign a course, because there are prerequisites, if you assigned only course 201 versus 101, we would end up getting support calls because the user couldn't get forward or couldn't progress forward because they hadn't met the prerequisites of the course. But this should provide you with substantially stronger reporting by user and overall firm, as far as you have now a one training matrix view to see all the employees in the firm and where they are at each level of each course. So one of the last things Chris and I want to just remind everybody is, we do take suggestions, right? We have added quite a few modules based on suggestions from the group. The big thing that we always look at when we're trying to add new modules is how do we write the scripting, and how do we write the assessment? This is one of the things where we are currently struggling with the consult module or the coaching module. We were hoping to actually build in an AI bot to have interactive speech back and forth with the learner, and that has proved way more challenging than expected. And then the other issue is every firm coaches and consults just a little differently. Our firm may never take Section 179, and your firm may take Section 179 whether the client has a profit or a loss. So we're trying to choose the topics that we think are larger, broader brushstroke topics that younger managers or managers with less experience, we can provide a bigger war chest of consult topics so that they're a little better armed when they meet with their clients. That is our goal, to have the consult modules released sometime this year. And then again, we are always open to suggestions from the group. As Chris did state, we will be sending out, or he will send out information to each of the firms individually to walk you through this conversion to the new reporting so that your trainers understand where now they will pull the reporting versus currently you log in as instructor. On the right hand side, you go to the reports tab and then you dial down and you look at a per module or a per course view. We will change all of that and have that more at a firm view, and then it can dial down to the individual view. And then, like always, we will have our videos updated in the trainer guide so that the trainer guide will house all the new videos on how to access each of the individual reports and how we see those particular reports being used. So we do greatly appreciate, again, everybody taking 20, 30 minutes of your time during tax season, but we did want to push that out. One last thing that we would ask everyone is please hit us up on social media. Take a look at Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Like us, save us, post. We love the feedback. And are there any, the Q&A is open if anyone had any Q&A questions.
Yeah, and like Crystal said in the chat, that user invite form, we will get the email to send it to added into there, because I know it's in a section of the trainer guide itself, but not on the actual form. So that'll be added.
Yep, and Dario, yes, we will do the training individually firm by firm first, because we want to make sure, again, that the trainers know exactly where they need to go to look at each individual report. And then prior to that, we will have the videos uploaded in the trainer guide for the new reporting, where you will go, what you will click. That will all be part of the trainer guide moving forward.
So kind of like how we had with the onboarding of walkthrough there, and then the videos in the trainer guide, it'll be a similar sense where we'll talk it through with you and also have video documentation of it in the trainer guide for you.
All right. Well, as always, guys, feel free to hit either one of us up via email. Send messages with any request or any updates you would like to see, and we do greatly appreciate each and every one of you for supporting the product. We're hoping to make this again, make it a lot better for 2025 and continue to add relevant products to help train your team. So thank you all very much, and successful tax season to everybody.
Thanks, everyone.